This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
Whether your adventure is on the road, on the water, or off the grid, Battleborn batteries keep you out there longer.
You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
Hi, everyone. Today we have a very special episode for you. Jennifer Mercer, Director of Development from Care Camps, joins us to talk about how Care Camps is able to give children with cancer an opportunity to go to camp. But before we get into the interview with Jennifer, I want to hand it over to the kids of Care Camps.
I was diagnosed with ALL leukemia.
I was diagnosed with lymphoma Hodgkin's disease, rhabdomyosarcoma.
I had Burkitt's lymphoma.
I was diagnosed at age 3 with leukemia.
It was hard because I did lose all my hair. During my chemo, I had a tumor in my shoulder, so we had to take out my shoulder blade.
I was on chemo for 3 or 4 years.
In the hospital for about 4 years.
I relapsed when I was 6.
I've actually had cancer twice. Of course, you would never think that you're going to be the one to have cancer.
Teens who come here don't have to explain why they look different, why they sound different. They don't have to explain why they don't have hair or an arm. They just can come here and be themselves.
You know, a lot of times when they lose their hair or when they're not feeling well, they just feel really alone. And so to be able to come to a camp where everybody, no matter what age you are, has gone through the same thing or is going through the same thing is amazing for them.
They've been through a tremendous ordeal, and after a week of not thinking about that, not thinking about their next blood draw, not thinking about their next challenge, but just focusing on the moment and being in such a special place and surrounded by beauty, I think it does give them an opportunity to recharge their batteries.
The consistent and generous support that we have received from Care Camps is extremely important in allowing us to make this a cost-free experience for so many people whose lives have been affected by cancer.
We're able to bring all these wonderful kids to camp because of donations.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for providing that clip for us to play. It's a very heartwarming introduction to Care Camps. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved with Care Camps?
Of course. Well, I love that video so much. I think it really tells the heart of the story of our charity, and I'm so lucky to get to work for Care Camps. Like you said, my name is Jennifer. I'm the Director of Development for Care Camps. In other words, I'm the Chief Thanking Officer. So my job is to say thank you to all the people that make it possible for our kids to go to camp. And I got involved in this charity. Honestly, I feel like it was a God thing for me. A board member from somebody that I knew from a long time ago remembered me, and when the board was talking about this position, thought of me for some crazy reason. And it just happened to be the perfect timing in my life. I'm really passionate about kids and making a difference for kids that are going through so much. And so this was really an exceptional fit, and I love what I get to do every day. It's the best job in the world.
So you've been with Care Camps for a little while. It sounds like you started with them and then have moved up to the position that you're in now.
No, I'm their first ever employee. So I started about 1.5 years ago. It's been the best experience. I have the most amazing board of directors and just a cool group of people that I get to work with that are passionate advocates for the kids. All of them personally raise money for the charity and donate and do some really great things. And so I get to be supported by a cool group of people and do some fun work with a lot of great folks like you.
When was Care Camps founded and how did it get started?
Yeah, so Care Camp started 36 years ago, and it was actually founded by a small group of KOA campground owners. And these folks were really passionate about the cause for an unfortunate reason. One of the campground owners lost his son to cancer. As it was explained to me, the reason Care Camps was founded is because as he was navigating that cancer journey with his son, He said the hardest part was watching his son be so desperately lonely during the cancer journey. What Care Camps offers these kids is not only a chance to have fun again and be in the outdoors, but to really connect with other kids who understand exactly what they're going through. It's just a beautiful thing. And so these campground owners started by doing simple fundraisers at their campgrounds, and it grew and expanded, and more KOA campground owners joined the cause. And eventually you saw KOA corporate join in, and now KOA is still our largest supporter for the charity, but I'm so grateful. KOA has been really amazing. The number of kids that need our support has grown exponentially over the years, and that's for a wonderful reason. The number of kids surviving cancer, we had, when we started the charity, about 20% of the kids would survive their cancer. And so most kids didn't get a chance. The camp was a one-time experience for them. Today, we're lucky enough that almost 80% of the kids are surviving their cancers through more effective treatments and better quality of life. More kids are able to come to camp, and more kids are dealing with the emotional devastation of what happens when they're diagnosed with cancer, and their family, it's like their whole family gets that diagnosis at the same time. And so we need more assistance. And so KOA has generously made this, something it's not about them. It's about helping the kids. And so now we have campgrounds all over the United States and Canada supporting our cause. And it is expanded to the RV industry and the outdoors industry. So we have a lot of partners, like Battleborn is one of the partners that joined our cause, along with quite a few of the RV manufacturers and our suppliers. And the goal is, we're still not even close to there yet, but our goal is to make sure that every single child with cancer has a chance to experience the healing power of the outdoors and get to be in beautiful places like you're at, Kenny. So
how many kids typically get to attend camp each year? And is it just kids, or can adults attend as well?
Well, most of the camps are for the kids, but we do have family camps as well. So every year we have about 42,000 individuals that attend camps, whether it's kids with cancer, their siblings, or their parents. So it's a pretty large number. Some kids will attend a camp just for them, and then they'll have a family camp weekend. So it just depends on the different camps. Each camp is a little bit different. So we supported over 140 camps all across the United States and Canada this year. And each one is a unique and different experience, but they all have the same amazing medical care for the kids and specialized counseling that helps these kids navigate the journey while they're having fun in the outdoors, which is pretty cool. So it's a pretty big group. And the neat thing is we get to help kids in every single community, no matter where the child is from. Our camps, we have camps that will help the kiddos, which is pretty awesome.
Are there different length stays? Do some stay a week? Are they weekends?
Usually they're week-long camps. There are some camps that are 2 weeks. There are some camps that are day camps. There are some camps that are weekends. So each one is a little different. We have things that are like bereavement camps for parents that have lost their child to cancer, and for the siblings also. We have special sibling camps, because the day a child is diagnosed with cancer, unfortunately, their siblings, they kind of become invisible overnight. And it's by no fault of any parent. No parent intends to do that. It's just, we're not built. I think as an adult, us coping with cancer, us wrapping our minds around what cancer means and the thought of possibly dying is difficult. For a child, it's impossible. And parents really, I think sometimes it's harder on the parents than it is on the kiddos. And so they really struggle, and therefore the siblings struggle. So we have camps dedicated specifically just to the siblings, which is pretty incredible. And it really helps them get through the journey with their family.
Now, you said there's camps all across the US and Canada. Do you go to existing campgrounds, or are there dedicated campgrounds just for this purpose?
So some of our camp facilities are just for oncology camps, and some of the camp facilities are, I would say the vast majority are facilities that were rented. They're a Boy Scout camp or a Girl Scout camp, a typical summer camp experience. They just have the added medical care that the kids need, which is really the only difference between a normal summer camp. Kids that are getting chemotherapy can get chemo while they're at camp. They get all of the treatments that they need and the medications they need so that they can actually forget about the chemo and the radiation and just focus on being a kid again in the beautiful outdoors, which is really fun.
So are the medical staff that come to the camps, are they volunteers as well?
Some are, and some are paid medical staff. So some of the camps will run year round and help thousands of children each year. And they're very large. They may have 15 paid staff because they are a year-round operation where they're working in the hospitals. They're working at the typical summer camp thing, but then they also have stuff going throughout the whole year. And other camps are literally just a one-time 1 or 2 week experience, and they're all volunteer led. So each one is a little different. They all have to go through a process to be certified as a camp that follows best practices. But at the end of the day, these summer camps it's not like going to a normal campground. It's not like going to a KOA. Our camps aren't hosted at campgrounds. They're at summer camp facilities.
And how do they become part of the care camps? Do they reach out to you, or have you been reaching out to them? How does that typically work?
Both of the above.
Both, okay.
Yeah. So some of the camps heard about us. We fund the major body that actually does the professional training and development for these camps, called the Children's Oncology Camping Association. The Children's Oncology Camping Association basically helps create standards and training and support for all of these camps. So they don't have to recreate the wheel. When someone has come up with amazing programming, they have these best practices and standards that help guide the level of medical care that's required, because some of our camps are for kids who are still in active treatment, and some of our camps are for kids who are in remission. Other camps are for the whole family or for siblings that aren't sick. And so it's a little bit of a different experience and obviously different level of medical care required. Care Camps funds this organization, and a lot of the camps find out about us through them. But we are one of the largest sources of funding, if not the largest source of funding for most of these camps across the United States. So word spreads pretty fast when you're there to give them money. That's our only job, is to make sure these camps exist and the families don't have to pay anything to attend camp.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I know you mentioned medical care as one of the big differences, but what are some of the other differences that camp facilities have to go through or need to have located at their camp for them to become a care camp?
It really just depends on the camp, because some of these camps are specialized for certain types of cancer. And so we have some camps that specialize in neuroblastoma, where a child has had a brain tumor and they may be limited mobility and in wheelchairs. And so some of those facilities have to be handicap. Everything has to be handicap accessible. We have camps where kids get to go on hikes, but they've lost a leg or are in a wheelchair. And so those hikes are piggyback style, which is pretty amazing. Just kind of, they figure out how to help make it work for the kids. And then other camps, the kids have normal mobility and there's not a lot of differences in the facility itself. Some of them have on-site infirmaries, and some of them bring them in like an RV or a bus and have the medical care there. So it's pretty incredible. Each one is a little unique and different.
You had said earlier that there's no cost to the parents or to the families that are using the care camps. So when somebody's donating, does all that money that's donated, well, I guess it couldn't, because there must be administration fees and things like that. How much of a donation actually goes to the family for the care camp?
Fantastic question, because I think a lot of people, when they give, they know, there's usually administrative costs and they know that. The really neat thing with care camps is that when you make a donation to care camps, 100% of your donation is going to go directly towards helping a child with cancer get to camp. All of our administrative expenses are generously covered with an amazing grant from KOA Corporate. They actually do the Value Card Rewards program, and the money from that program actually funds our very limited administrative expenses. It's just Karen and I as full-time staff. So we're kind of it. We don't have a lot of administrative expenses, but all of that is covered by KOA so that we are able to It's really an amazing thing. Any donor that does a fundraiser for us, individuals, we have one individual in Key West, Florida, who's raised over $1 million for care camps through some really creative stuff. Yes. Howard Livingston is a musician down there, and he's so much fun. So you have individuals, you have campgrounds, you have all different kinds of businesses and different civic groups doing fundraisers to raise money for the cause. And all of that money gets to go directly towards helping a child in need, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. I didn't realize that that's how, like, the KOA, we are KOA reward members. I didn't know, honestly, we stay at a lot of KOAs. I didn't know that any of that money went towards care camps. That makes me feel even better about being a KOA reward member.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, KOA is such an amazing company. They are very much focused on the good of not just care camps and the cause, but also just, the North American Camping Report. They put that out for all campgrounds to be able to use in the whole industry, and they share that. Care camps is another example of that. They don't like to toot their own horn. They're not a company that talks about their charitable giving. I've been trying to convince them to do more of that, because I think people love to support businesses that they see giving back. It makes our customers feel good when they get to do something where they know that they're supporting a good cause. And so we're trying to convince more of our corporate partners that it is positive for your business to share its giving, because it helps your employees and your customers feel good about your business. And at the end of the day, we all want to feel like we're supporting something worthwhile and doing something meaningful.
I also think that it encourages others to participate and to contribute. I don't think you have to, I don't know what the word for it is. I don't think you have to showboat it and say, oh, we're donating this much, this much, this much. But I think just them saying, hey, we are part of this program, we do donate, will encourage others to do the same.
Yeah. And you'll see it at the campground level a lot more. The KOAs that are really involved in fundraising, you'll see them share that message a lot. Folks can donate anytime. If they go to a KOA, they can say, I want to make a donation to care camps, or they can just go to our website. It's pretty easy. But and any other campground, if you've got folks out there that are traveling and they want to be an advocate for us, tell the campground they're staying in, hey, are you guys doing a fundraiser for care camps? Because campgrounds are kind of the heart and soul of where we got our start, and we really want to keep that focus, because I think it's really great for people that are in the outdoors and love the outdoors to be able to support the opportunity for these kids to have that same opportunity too.
And how do the families find out about care camps? Like if I had a child who was diagnosed with cancer, how would I find out about this great opportunity?
Well, I hate to say it, but it's a pretty exclusive club no one wants to belong to. When you have a child that's diagnosed with cancer, you have a lot of people that will reach out to you in the hospitals, and the social services at the hospitals will usually make that connection. But a lot of times parents join support groups online or different things like that, and that's where they'll find out about our camps. But it's a million different, they find out about us a million different ways. We don't do advertising, but the parents, believe me, we don't have a shortage of people that need the camp experience. We don't have a shortage of people finding out about us. We have a shortage of funding. So people are definitely finding out about us through the grapevine, through a lot of different mechanisms. But
so if we could go back to talking about donations, I saw on your website that you guys are able to accept RVs, and somebody can donate an RV. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's actually a really fun aspect of our donations program. We have an amazing board member, Barry, who was a dealer. I think he still is actually a dealer, but he started accepting donations of RVs and cars when people traded in their units. Those donations, he sells those, and the proceeds go to care camps. So if you have an older RV or car or boat, even tractors, construction equipment, tools, it's amazing. He sold a huge, I think we had 2 trailer loads full of tools that someone and parts that someone had, and they donated to care camps. He figures out a way to get those sold at an auction and get it taken care of. So you can donate a whole lot of different stuff to support the cause. Obviously, you can just make a cash donation online, which is very easy. And we also have the fundraising toolkit, which is a really fun thing where anyone that wants to be a part of making a donation to care camps, maybe they don't have the means themselves. Maybe they're traveling around the country in an RV and they want to do something to support care camps. There are actually a whole host of fundraisers available online that you can go to the website, click on the fundraising toolkit, and download a fundraiser. So it's like step-by-step instructions and all the resources, editable posters, and all sorts of stuff to help you if you want to do a fundraiser for care camps. It's kind of the essence of where we get our funding is passionate individuals who choose to make a difference. So the toolkit is there just to make that really easy.
So what does it cost for a kid to go to camp? Do you have like a price figure that you could share?
Yeah, well, like we talked about before, because each camp is so different, the number ranges drastically, but an average cost is around $1,850 per child because of all the medical care that the kids need. So it's a little bit more than you pay to have your child go to a Boy Scout or Girl Scout camp or a church camp, because they are obviously having to fund some pretty specialized medical care and training for counselors and all of that stuff. So, but what it offers the kids is quite amazing.
So Jennifer, I would imagine with your position working with this foundation that there are rewarding parts of this job. Do you have one that really stands out, or do you want to share a couple of some shiny moments?
Yeah, so I think every one of the moments that I get to talk with our kids is really special. Last year during COVID, you can imagine these kids' lives, if you think our lives were changed, most of these kids have been in lockdown since last March. And their lives have had to change tremendously, and it's been really hard on them. Kids talked about feeling depressed. They talked about feeling suicidal because they were so cut off from the world and they were feeling so lonely. And then the one thing that they looked forward to, camp, obviously we couldn't meet in person, and the kids were really, really, really upset. And so the cool thing was the camp directors all over the nation rallied and came together. Normally they kind of do their own thing, but last year they came together as one cohesive unit, and they really worked together to come up with these amazing experiences for the kids that were like virtual camps, where they actually sent out a camp in a box experience, these giant, huge, amazing boxes that were so great, full of fun stuff for the kids. And it got the kids to get outdoors, and they used the stuff in the box during the virtual camp. Seeing the kids talk about how awesome camp was, even though they didn't get to meet in person, like that was a really, really exceptional thing. And our camps were able to expand out last year and include kids that are in hospitals all over the nation. And that was a really special thing for us that I don't think, no one would have prayed to have COVID come, right? But what the camp directors found out is there is a way to serve these kids in the hospitals. And you had parents writing in and saying, here's a picture of my child smiling for the first time. I haven't seen my child smile or laugh for months. And I heard him giggling as he's on his virtual camp with other kids. And he's finally able to forget about being sick and all the stuff he's going through and just be a kid again. And thank you so much. The pictures of the kids were just amazing, and how it was just a really amazing experience to see during such a hard time for all of us. These kids that were going through so much, we got to bring them some joy. And getting to talk with groups of kids about what camp means to them. I mean, I had one little boy tell me, camp is better than Disneyland. And I was like, really? And he's like, and I know, because I just got to make a wish and I went to Disneyland. Camp is better than Disneyland. And I'm like, really? Why? It's like, the kids all talked about why camp is just so fun. And they talk about all the fun that they have, but it always comes back to the friends that they make there. Their friends understand truly what they're going through. And it's such a meaningful experience for them. Most of these kids, 20 years later, the people that are in their wedding are people that they met when they were at camp and they were 8 years old. The kids stay friends forever. It's such a bond for them. We actually have a problem that we can't accept very many volunteers. And the cool part is that most of these kids, when they grow up, they're fighting to become volunteers and get certified to become counselors at camp, because they can't imagine giving up the camp experience, which is so cool. So it really is incredible. So yeah, hearing from the kids about, I loved the little boy that said camp is better than Disneyland. That just cracked me up.
I think Kenny would argue with him about that. I
probably would. I'm a huge Disney fan. That's a tough one.
I'm a huge Disney fan too. Our whole family. I get it. I totally get it.
I like what you said earlier too, and I think this echoes what you had said even earlier on in the interview, where the parents are sending photos and pictures and videos and saying, my child is smiling for the first time. That this program is just as much of a help for the parents and family as it is for the children. It really affects the entire family. And luckily, care camps affects the entire family in a positive way. I think that's wonderful.
It does. Parents talk about sending their patient to camp and getting their child back. And that I think is really amazing. And for the siblings to get to have that same experience, I've had a lot of siblings. They take over the conversation. They're so excited to tell me it was the first time somebody hadn't forgotten about them, because the camps do special stuff for the siblings and make them feel special. So yeah, it really is an exceptional thing for the kids and the whole family as a unit.
What are the typical ages of the kids that can go to a care camp?
It varies drastically depending on the camp. So we have some day programs for kids as young as 3 and 4 years old. And then camps go up to 18 years old. But then a lot of the kids after 18 go on to become counselors and volunteers at the camp. So you're never too old to go to camp, as one of the camp directors told me. He said a lot of our kids, their biggest fear is aging out and not being able to come to camp. So yeah, so that's a pretty incredible thing. Everything's kind of age appropriate. You usually don't have kids younger than 6 or 7 that are doing overnight stays. Most parents just aren't comfortable, letting their kids go overnight for that long, but we have a lot of day camps and stuff for the younger kids.
Are the camps themselves broken up into different age groups? Like, do you have camps that are kind of like their specialty is 6 to 10, and then maybe other camps that are specialties are teenagers?
It just depends, because all the camps are independent. There's no official, the camps don't coordinate and do that, but each of the camps, some of the camps will include all the kids in one camp in all ages, and it's an overnight camp, and other camps will have different age groups. So it just totally depends on the camp.
Okay.
If someone is listening and they want to get their company involved, or they would like to individually support care camps, what is the best way for them to do that? Is it go to your website?
Call me or email me. Yeah, so I'm the best point of contact for that, and my contact info is on the website, and I can share that with you guys for your listeners. But my job is to help companies and individuals who want to partner with our organization find ways to do that. So if you're looking for a meaningful cause to give back to and you want to do something, we're really trying to get some RV dealers involved now. The manufacturers and the suppliers and the campgrounds are all involved. So we're really working to build relationships with our RV dealers across the nation and marine dealers and all the outdoor motorsports, because all of them are about the outdoors and the outdoor experience, and they have so many potential opportunities to help without even costing their company any money. They can actually do some great things that can support our cause. Most of our campgrounds, they do fundraisers for us, and that's not costing them anything besides a little bit of time organizing, and they do tremendous things for our kids. So if anyone's interested, they can contact me, and I'd love to talk with them.
We'll add that information into the show notes, or a link at least, to get them right to the page.
Awesome.
So I'm curious, is care camps on Instagram and Facebook? Like, is that a way that people can share the news about care camps and what you folks are doing?
Yes, we are on all the social media channels. You can reach out to us. We even have a Twitter handle. That's always amazing. Yes, we're on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and you can also go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. And you get to, the world is full of so many hard things, and our stories are about hope and healing and joy for these kids. So we actually interview kids and tell their stories. So we call them our heroes of hope. So if you're looking for a little positivity and joy in your life, sign up for our newsletter, because it's a great way to find a little joy and see some happy faces, because it's a tough subject. Kids with cancer is not something anybody really wants to talk about. It's tough. But when you go to camp, it really is the happiest place on earth. I mean, these kids are so happy, and there's so many smiles and giggles, and there's crying too, because these kids are losing friends and they're going through a hard time. But at the end of the day, camp is all about bringing the smile back to their face.
So I think that was all of our questions for today, Jennifer. But before we let you go, is there anything that we might have missed or that you would like to add?
I think the one thing that I would like your listeners to hear is that we need each and every one of you to be a partner for care camps. The need just so far exceeds our funding right now. And if you want to be a part of helping a child with cancer get to camp and helping their family navigate this, there's a path for everyone to participate, whether it's doing a simple Facebook fundraiser for the cause, or making a donation, or doing a fundraiser with a local civic group that you're a part of. There are so many different ways that you can get involved, or expose this cause to your employer and get your, ask your employer if they would do a fundraiser or make a donation for care camps. A lot of companies are looking for great causes to get involved in and in a way to get their employees involved. We have one company that suggested we're going to ask our employees to just simply give $1 a week. And, some of these companies are large organizations, and $1 a week multiplied by all those people can add up to a significant difference for those kids. So whatever it is, we just ask everyone to get involved. And if you're interested, just reach out, because we would love to have you be a part of the cause and help some kids with cancer get to camp.
Yeah, that's well said. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on and chat with us about this subject. To be honest, I hadn't heard about care camps until Battle-Born Batteries got involved. So I'm glad they did, because I didn't realize there was this whole big foundation around helping these kids, experience some joy in their life when they're going through such hard times.
Well, unfortunately, we're still a best kept secret. So we appreciate helping get the word out. Like I said, because we don't do paid advertising. St. Jude's is a well-known, amazing organization that has a huge advertising budget. And we do, St. Jude's actually refers a lot of kids to us. We don't have that same ad budget. So it's folks like you sharing the word and getting the word out there, and our friends at Battle-Born and all of our partners that make it possible for us to get the word out there.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on and sharing all this information with us. I said to Sean earlier, I believe that this is our most important episode ever. So honestly, we really appreciate it that you came on and took the time to tell us more about it.
I'm so grateful to you guys for helping spread the word. And, maybe if every listener gives $1, we could raise some money. Wouldn't that be amazing? It's just the simple things that make such a difference. It's crazy. So
we want to thank Jennifer for coming on the show and talking about care camps. If you feel compelled to give after listening to this podcast, please visit the website at carecamps.org. Children are forced to grow up very quickly when they get cancer, and going to camp is a way for them to be a kid again. Look for information in the show notes on how to contact Jennifer and care camps. We would like to thank our sponsor, Battle-Born Batteries, who are also supporters of care camps. Let's do what we can to help bring some youth back to these children's lives. Safe travels, everyone, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
This episode is brought to you by Battle-Born Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety. So go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.